All right, guys. Welcome to another stream here today. Or if you're watching this in the future, welcome to another video here. Welcome. Let me just remove all the stuff I don't need anymore. Oh, I didn't turn on this, did I? Hold on. My little Pokemon characters. Hold on, where is that? Am I activating it now? There we go. You're showing stream now. There we go. Let's go. Cool. Alright. Cool. Alright, let's get started, shall we? If you guys are new here, this is JoJoDev. I am a software engineer and I make games, and basically what we do here is just make games and demos and all of that, and you guys get to see what I do. Cool. All right, so in the last couple of streams we've been working on optimizing our game's performance a little bit for certain sections, which is when I'm transitioning to a new chunk and it just lags a little bit. I've been able to improve it a lot more now, but there's still some minor hitches that's going on that I still want to fix. And the last stream we ended up updating my trees. Instead of being in the tile map, I decided to go in the direction of spawning them as a node. So all of these trees will be spawned as its own node rather than being on the tile map, and that did help out a little bit of performance, but it's still not great. And I ended up doing something else instead that I've been working on since the last stream, off screen. I've been doing it on my own time, right, since the last stream, and basically it is to do similar to what I'm doing with the chunks in here, right? So I only render trees that are nearby me. There's no reason to spawn all these other trees outside of it. So I only spawn the trees that are nearby me. And I do that by doing a spatial partitioning, similar to how I'm doing with the chunks, but at just a little bit smaller scale. Instead of being a 30 by 30 grid, it is what is it? A 15 by 15 chunk. So let me show you what I'm doing here. Let's get a scatter draw out here a little bit. Let's delete some stuff in here real quick so I can show you what I'm doing, or I can put it in the side and put it down here instead. So let's just draw. So this ends up being my initial chunks that I'm doing with the main tile map, which is a 30 by 30. This actually renders everything for what well, how the level looks. So we have each chunk is a 30 by 30, so 30 and 30 tiles. So that means that the entire thing on this entire side, on the top side, is 90 tiles, right? So 30, 30, and 30, and the same thing will be down here. So this renders the entire scene, right? This renders if it's ground, if it's tile, or if it's grass, or if there's water in it, and all that. And now how I'm going to be doing with the trees is that I'm going to layer another spatial partitioning on top of this that is in a much smaller scale than this guy. So we have another grid here that I'm to be for spatial partitioning for the trees. So instead of being 90. Oh, hold on, let me draw the, because this is still just a smaller scale, a smaller chunk, right? And each of these chunks is a 15 by 15 tiles. So that means it's 15 here, 15 here, and 15 here. So that means there's 45 on top. And 45 going down. So it's a 45 by 45 grid at a much smaller scale. And what I'm doing is that the player will always be in the center, and that'll be layered on top of whatever I'm currently rendering. So as this is moving, it will move, as my player is moving, this grid will be moving with the player. And anything inside of this grid is what we can be rendered into trees, or in the future we decide to do other things in it as well, like the rocks and all of that. That's where everything's going to be at. So that is what I'm working on since the last stream. And I actually I haven't built it yet, so it should be fine. So I'm currently working on that, and I have it working. There's some minor things that I have to take account for. So if as it transitions to a new chunk, the older chunks should remove the trees, which it doesn't do that right now. And that's the plan that I want to do today. So let me zoom out. So as you can see, it's only rendered the trees from here. This is the bigger chunk. And as I move to the right, you see more trees that will spawn on this side. You see that? And now what I got to do is remove the trees that are on this side now, because I don't need to see them. But as you can see, as I'm traveling around the world, the trees will go back to normal and show where they need to be at, which is great. So I just need to remove the other trees, and then we can test this performance a little bit. So I started writing on it, writing the stuff here. So what I'm doing here is checking the difference, and if I'm moving to the left, then I gotta remove the tiles, the chunks that are on the right side. Where is my? Let's remove that. So if I'm moving in this direction, right? That means that I gotta remove all the trees that were on this chunk, because then I'm creating a new grid here. So then that will stay in, and I'm removing all of this stuff here because I don't need it anymore. And the same thing it would be if I'm going to the opposite side, right? So if I was moving in this direction, then this grid will be gone, and I'm creating a new one down here. And the same thing will be for the top, and so on, right? So that is what I'm doing here that I'm gonna be doing. So that is the plan. So if I'm moving to the left, I'm removing the top right chunk, removing the rightmost chunk on the right side, and then the bottom right, which ends up being a +1 and a +1 on the bottom. Cool. And I need a parenthesis here. Then yeah, you know what? Let's just copy this thing. So then, if I'm moving to the right side, that means the left side of the chunks needs to be removed. So I gotta put a minus here. This is the top leftmost chunk. I don't need to keep this one here. I gotta remove the leftmost chunk, so which is just a -1 on there. Do that, and the bottom leftmost chunk. which is this, and +1 on the other side. Sweet. If I'm going up, I gotta remove the bottom left of the chunk, which is just a -1 and a +1. The bottom most chunk, which is no plus on the X, and it's just a +1. And then what is supposed the bottom right's most chunk, which is, yeah, that's just this one here. I just copy this, and this is basically just the opposite, right? But in the bottom, we gotta remove the top leftmost chunk. So if I'm moving down, I gotta remove the top leftmost chunk, which is just a minus and a minus on the Y there. The topmost chunk, the top middle, and then I gotta remove the top right, which is just a plus and a minus here. Cool. So let's delete that. So once I got all of these chunks in here and deciding which one I need to remove, I want to iterate through them. And checking to see if, just to double check, it's always good to double check if it has this chunk in here. Right, if it has it, then we get it. We get the array from here. Spatial, which is just a chunk. You know what? Let's do that. So it can be somewhat similar. But instead, we use this one. We use that instead. And then we can just use this in here. And we iterate through all of these. And we gotta remove all the trees that are in here. Use me. We got this environment data, and in here it should have a Godot typed array of Godot nodes. Actually, I keep using parentheses, but it should be the chevrons instead. I mean brackets. Spawned trees, and then it'll just be spawned trees here. You see, we got spawn trees here because all of that. These spawn trees need to spawn on the bottom. That's where I am spawning them at. And then I recall doing when I wanted to despawn all nodes, I remember creating a function for that in a GD script. Despawn nodes, there we go. I think this was the original way that I was doing it, and I don't need to do this anymore. Yeah, I'll leave it there for now, but I'm not using those anymore. So we'll do some cleanup afterwards. And what I gotta do is just put the spawn trees in here, and we should be good. And after it does that, I want to remove the spatial chunk because I don't need it anymore. Erase, is it erase or delete? And spatial position. I don't need the spatial chunk anymore. And I iterate through all the other spatial chunks and go through that just fine. Alright, let's go through here. If it did spawn it, which is great, we'll keep track of it. Cool. I believe this still will update the original spatial chunk. I don't think I need to reset it back to it, right? I guess we'll find out if it works or not. Yeah, I think this should do it. Let's build it. The game running. Oop. Let me hydrate. Alrighty. Fingers crossed. No crashes or anything. Let's get in it. Alright, so I'm gonna zoom out and double check. Actually, you know what? Were there trees on top before? I don't recall. Wondering if they got removed or something. I'll double check on that. I don't remember. So spawn new ones, and this one should disappear. No, it did not disappear. So I'm wondering if it's keeping track of them or not. Alright, so maybe it's not keeping track of it. So I'm gonna have to reset it back. So I get this environment data, which is through here. Would it be wise? Does that give errors? Yes, it does. It doesn't like it. Alright, never mind. It does not like it, so I'm gonna have to just reset it then, I guess. We got an array, and after it goes in here, hang on, we got spawn trees. We want to set it back in here, and then set it back to the array of I, or J, I mean, and then just call it environment data. I meant this one, bro. So after setting that, we then gotta set this position afterwards, which is kind of dumb, but I mean, assuming that is the issue here. All right. Let's load back in. Zoom out. Zoom out a little bit more. There we go. It disappeared. I'll do it one more time. Great. And if I come back, it didn't spawn these other ones though, sadly. On this one here. It's still not perfect though. So if I come back out, it should disappear. Does it come back? Okay, so after spawning it, it doesn't come back anymore. Let's figure out why. Oh, you know why? I know why. I know why. The problem is because I deleted the entire thing. I don't want to delete the entire thing. What I want to do... The problem is this. I don't need to delete this. What I want to do is just clear out the spawn trees. Whoopsies. Alright, so after I do that, let's just clear it. Let's just clear that. Let's set it to our... Oh, that needs to be inside. Ooh, whoops. This needs to be inside. And after it does all of that, clear it, set it, and then we set the environment. I'm deleting the wrong thing here. You want to clear the trees and then set it back in there. Let me set this back in here. It'll be the environment data. Right? And then we set it to the spatial partitioning on top. There we go. And let's build this again. Let me eat my sandwich real quick. Let's load back in. I feel like there's more trees every time. Yeah, see that? Interesting. Alright, so let's zoom out a little bit more. Just move to the right to disappear. There we go. Keep going a little bit more. Disappear. Does these come back? There we go. Let's go, buddy. And this one spawned. Interesting. This one might be right in the edge. Yeah, which is great. There's no problem with that. I was wondering why this tree came back in. Hold on, let me see. It's gone, and then it's back in here. It's probably right in the edge here. Cool. It's great. If I move down, let's double check that that works. The top one should go away. Let's go and spawn some more down here. Great. And let's go back up. Let's go. Let's remove this one. Yep, there we go. And since I'm more zoomed in here, you never see that change happening. Okay. The only problem that I have though, it's gonna be the trees with the static bodies right now, and that's the problem that I have. Right now they're all disabled. The problem is it's gonna come in when I enable these guys. And what's the problem with the tile maps too? So that's still the only problem that I have right now. So if I were to turn it off, enable the collisions back for all of these trees in here. Revert that. Let me double check that I reverted both. Okay. Going back to here. It's disabled. Disabled. So I may have to reduce the amount of trees I have here, sadly. Either that, or I just need to find a way to make this work with the collisions. I don't know why Chug is trying to enable these collisions. Oh, how's it doing in the back end in Godot? That's making it lag. Right, so yeah, see, you can see that Chug. That's crazy. Those collisions are insane. What to do with those collisions? Why? I may have to render less trees, which kind of sucks. It's basically lagging the same amount if I were to render all the trees all together. Hold on, let me check. I'm thinking. What is the plan here? What do I want to do? I mean, we can render less trees. I'll go back to my tile chunk here. Do a 0.5. What would that do if I clear this map and regenerate it again? And it didn't generate it. It isn't. GD squared 61, huh? Which is interesting. Ay. On a no value? Oh, you know what? Yeah, that's true. Because I do have children that are not tile map layers. That is true. So I just gotta say if it's tile. I never got this error till now, which is interesting. Or at least never paid attention to that. Well, that's lame. Interesting why it doesn't want to do it anymore. Oh. Yeah, we definitely don't want to do this. Hold on. Let's go back. I want to fix it because I like doing what I'm doing here in editor. We don't want to call this unless it's engine is editor hints. So we don't want to call this while I'm in editor. It's fine. And cancel clear. I just reload it again. Let's reload it, or otherwise if that doesn't work I gotta figure out what happened to it. Yeah, oh, weird. I gotta figure out why that did not work. I just wanted to see my trees if it got smaller or not. Oh well. It worked on the last stream, so I don't know what happened since then. Okay, so I'm trying to render less trees now. I can see there's no tree on top anymore. Let's zoom out a little bit. Alright, well there isn't a lot of trees now. Yeah, it still chugs. That's crazy. Why would it chug this crazy when there's not that many trees in here? Now, hold on, let's do something else real quick. I'm making sure. Let's not do any of this stuff here. Just to confirm that this is the problem right now. And the problem is that I'm not spawning these guys. Right, they're already spawned because I have a pool manager on these guys already. So the issue is not because I'm spawning them, but it's because I'm making them visible. And somehow the engine is making it... doing something in the back end that's making it lag for a brief second. Maybe we can try some defer calls and see if that will work. Or give it a try in a bit. Let's load back in. I'm testing some stuff. Oh, it's still laggy here. Oh wait, was it just for that second? Oh, you know what? It's because it's spawning the little... Okay. Yeah, there we go. So it definitely is the trees. And me spawning stuff. The reason I was chugging earlier is because it's spawning these two guys on top. And even spawning two, it still chugs for a second when it spawns. It's already instantiated in the level because I have a pool manager, but for whatever reason it's lagging because of that. And it wasn't doing that before though. That's the problem. So something happened recently that made it do that. Let's add some before calls here. Let's see what's up. Let's go into GD script. Let's go to my Edenville, which is here. So instead of going straight into being invisible this way, maybe we can do a tree node, set deferred or something, and a property of visible, and saying that's true instead. And we'll do the same thing with the collisions if we need to. But first of all, let's try this and see what's up. Hold on. Let's enable my trees again. That's down here. Where am I going? Where am I going? So let's do these trees in here. Let's build it. Will disable my enemies that are spawning there, so we don't see any of that freezes that's happening when they're spawning. All right. most likely stuck in a freeze. So the next thing we will do is to have the collisions disabled. And we'll see what we'll do right now. Where's my enemies right now? There we go. But these are enemies, so I don't need to spawn them right now. I'll turn that off. Let's go back to the trees. Let's just disable my collisions once more. So both are disabled. And both are disabled. Both are disabled. And disabled. So that's all 4 of them, right? Alright. I may ask that in the forum or something and see if anybody's dealing with that. We got this tree, and the moment I move to the left side of this, it should spawn more trees. No. Yeah, look at that. No lag, nothing until I spawn those collisions. It's insane. You see that? That's insane. Oops. That's crazy. And the moment I enabled this is where it can be the problemo. Let's try it one more time. Oh wait, what am I doing? One-way collisions? Come on now. Double checking those other ones are good too. It's crazy, even if I delay enabling the collisions, it's still gonna lag because I only spawned 2 enemies and it lagged. Yeah, I'm just thinking right now. Yeah, see that? You can see the lag. That's crazy. Just enabling the collisions will do that. That is crazy. Trying to figure out what will be the plan for these guys. And how to enable these guys. Alright, let's look it up real quick. Godot for... Actually, just move it over here. Godot for issues enabling collisions. Collision at runtime. Scripting errors. Utilizing set deferred, which I kind of did. I need to do it to the collisions though, so maybe that's what I need to do. The issue is not because I'm not seeing it, it's just the lag. Let's input lag. Crazy because I worked on other engines and never seen an error or a chug like this before. So I don't know how Godot is doing it in the back end. Any issues? That can also be a, you know what? Because I'm using Polygon, I'm wondering if this might be an issue too then. No, but well, what are my slimes doing? What do they have? You know, they have a collision shape, it's a circle, but that doesn't matter. But that's not the problem. If I spawn one of these guys, it lags. La 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 la. Let's go back into, where's my thing at? Here. So the complex collision shapes is not a problem, because even circle shapes are still doing it. I'm not using rigid bodies. Increase physics ticks per second. And that's not happening for me. Yeah, I was searching it before. I couldn't find an answer for it. Well, no, that's not. Just because you're spawning it, you probably need a pool manager, right? Meter loading. That's not a problem for me. Let's see if the purchasing is. Venom Gaming, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I'm working on having some issues when I'm enabling collisions at runtime. It freezes the game for a second when I'm spawning a tree. I already have a pool manager or pulling object pulling for my trees. So when I grab one of those trees and spawn them on my level, if it has a collision shape on it, it will lag for a second. So I believe some people are saying I'm gonna have to delay some stuff. Let's see. By the way, if the issue is that I'm not instantiated. They're already all instantiated already, so that's not a problem. But they do have a physics frame one though. Okay. That's another thing I can do. So we can try having these guys disabled and only enable them after a frame, maybe. So we can disable these guys. We can start them all disabled. Get that disabled and disabled. We can create a script for these guys. A new script. Let's save it in my scripts folder. I don't have an environment. Let's just put let's add a new folder here. I'll call it environments. Environments. And we'll save it as a tree. Let's create that. Okay. Got that. Got two of the same ones in here. Hold on. You know what? Just put a 2 for now. I'll clean it up after. I just want to see if this even works anyway. So on a function, I believe when I spawn my trees, I do call a function. But then where's my pool manager? When I spawn, I call this function. And then we can defer the calls to disabling here. Let's put it to true. No, let's just do it to 1. Let's see if that is a problem or not. So we'll attach that here. We'll attach it here as well. We'll attach it. And do the same thing for this one. Let's see if that does anything at all. Time is it actually? Still fine. Let's load back in. It minimized it a little bit, but the question is it actually calling it? Hold on. Are all the trees are spawned right now? That's not what I'm looking for. Where's my Y sorts? Go to my chunks, environments. We got trees in here. It's still disabled and still disabled, so no, it did not do anything to it. And they all have the tree. But the other thing is I don't know if actually even is calling this function though. Double check if it's calling it, even though it should. Yep, it is calling it. I can see it all in there. But you know what? I probably called it wrong, didn't I? 1 second. It should be false. Come on now. Okay. Let's double check that it is actually disabling that collision. Doesn't matter which one I'm doing it for. Cool. If that one's gone and this one's still on. So let's enable the other collision then. It still kind of lagged a little, but it wasn't like crazy. Let's see what it would do if I do both. It reduced it a little bit. That's even though I don't have that many trees in here. That's because there's no trees on this side either. Yeah, I mean, definitely improved it a little bit by deferring the call to it. Try to fix those white sort a little bit. Alright. I'm actually a little bit happy about that, but can we revert the trees back to normal to I had it? That's I forgot what value I had in here for this one. I think it was a 9. No, it definitely had a 0 in it. I think it was 9. Wacky, welcome. Yeah, I remember you're tall. Welcome to the stream, buddy. Hold on. So I got my trees back to normal. Would this be a issue? Ooh. It's just a tiny bit, but I'm not gonna make a big deal about it just because it was a lot worse earlier. By deferring the call, it definitely helped it out a lot. It's not 100% great, but definitely better than it was before, though. I can minimize it just a tiny bit more on the trees there. Maybe there's additional things that I can do. So far, it's not that crazy. Players go behind trees. Oh, you mean with the shader? Yeah, there's some that are working. I gotta figure out why these other ones are not working right now. Like this one works, but there's other ones that do not. Or maybe they do. No, let's zoom in. Oh yeah, I can see them here. I think I need to increase the. I need to increase the opacity on them. Yeah, it is raining like a lot in this one right now. All right, well. Why is it asking for more trees now? Yeah, that one lagged like a lot right there. What we can do, maybe let's put 7.5. That reduces it a little bit. Just checking to see if there's anything else that I can do with it, because I'm already delaying it on the collisions there, and I'm delaying the visibility on it as well. I'm wondering maybe I can tinker with this so that they don't all make it visible at the end of the frame, and maybe spread it out a little bit more. Can you make trees show in radius? Yeah, it's already doing that already. I'm only showing it instead of. No. Let me show you what I mean. So let's zoom out. So initially, before I started working on this, it was rendering all the trees for all of these in here. But now I'm only rendering within a certain vicinity of the player. So if I go this way, it despawns these ones, and spawns any upcoming trees that are coming this way. So if I'm moving to the left, if I'm moving to the right, we'll remove these and spawn the ones that are in here. And same thing if I go up. So it only renders it within a certain area of the player. If I make it smaller, you will start seeing it within the camera. So I can't make it smaller anymore. That's probably the max I can do right now. And the issue is not spawning, it's the collisions right now. And enabling them on runtime, it's not that great. So I think it's just me just tinkering with this and figure out what is the minimum amount of trees I can spawn, and that will probably help it out a lot more. But I think I'm actually not in a bad spot right now. It definitely helped it out a little more. So I'm not too crazy about it right now. All right, let's look at the shader real quick. It has a mass factor of 1. Double check the other one. Sorry, I have the same thing. Mass factor of 1. Do that. Which is this? This is a trunk. I don't care about trunks right now. 3 trunks. Just the trees only need a mass factor. Let's load in here. I'm trying to figure out why the shader wasn't working for all of them. It works for this guy here, which is not great. I gotta fix the sorting on these guys, but he started working on this guy for a second and now it's gone. Interesting. I gotta figure out why it stopped working. Another thing that I'm thinking of is probably I did made a copy of this earlier. So maybe they're all sharing the same thing. Let's see if this one works. No, the amount of trees loading at the same time causes the glitch. No, that's not it. It happens if I only do it for 1. So it's not because of the amount of trees. I already tested it, and it only does it still does the glitch or the freeze, even if it's just 1 tree. So the issue happens here, and then if I go back out, it is gone, and I can barely see the shader here. Interesting. Interesante. Alright, well, let's go into that shader, shall we? Alright, so it's crying about this shadering. Alright, let's close this actually. Close file. Let's work on this. Interesante es Portuguese. It's also in Spanish. Cool. So I'm trying to figure out this problemo. Let's see. So if I have a utils, GD shader, do all this stuff in here. It has an outline. Then I mask the position. If this is in world space. Latin languages have, yeah, they do. They very well do. Yeah, my wife speaks Tagalog, and some of the Tagalog words are also in Spanish, or at least I understand. They're very similar, at least. Alright. Do they all have radius on them? This one doesn't. That's a tree trunk. Why keep looking at tree trunks, man? Why? Yeah, so I remember I put 0.07 on them. I offset it a little bit. You know what? Let's remove the offset on it. Let's just make sure the player's there, mask the position. No, this is not gonna fix it though, but I just want to see how it looks. Portuguese can understand Spanish, people. Conversation, but Spanish cannot understand. Yeah, I agree with that. I hear people talking in Portuguese and I don't understand what they're talking about, at least majority of the time. What is this issue here? Is it doing it at runtime now? Yes, it is. So let's fix that problem. Issue errors here, but I think one of my T trunks is not using the correct shader right now. Let's figure out which tree trunk is it. Is it the big one? Nope. Is it the small one? It might be the small one, actually. Looks like that. Yep. Weird. Oh, weird. I wonder what happened there. No, quick load. There it is. Quick load. Let's find that tree. And this is a trunk, so I don't really care about setting this stuff here because it doesn't need that. Okay, I can put this back to normal. And how about multi-language game? How will you do it? Like external XML or config, so others will be able to help translate it. Let's talk about localization. And the video, I'm not sure if I'm gonna do it in other languages at the moment. And if I do up for localization, I might be open to doing external XML. You know, you guys can update it yourselves and make sure it actually does it correctly, I guess. Okay, so it's there. I'm wondering if it's because it's spawning right on top of it. Or yeah, see, it's gone. That's crazy. The shader just disappears. Even if I go back to where I was at. That is very interesting. Let's go into project settings, globals. Does this set it for me? It does not. Okay. And if I remember correctly, we're setting that. Where do we set it at? In Game Manager, maybe? Or in the player? Where do we set that variable at? Just double checking that it's actually calling it. Da, 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 da. Game Manager. And not remembering where I actually put that at. Is it in player? It could be in Eden. Or it could be in my C++ code actually. I want to make sure I'm calling that function that sets the player's position. Let me look at my Edenville map real quick. Let's look at the... Yeah, so it might be in my C++. You think if I do it for one single tree will work? Hold on, let me double check that I'm actually setting that on global shader parameter. Just gotta remember where I'm actually calling it at. I can actually search for it though. And it definitely is not gonna be in there. It's gonna be in Game Manager. If player. I wonder if it's actually going in here and setting it. It should. Okay. Alright, well, looks like I am setting it, so let's go into... Let's reduce the amount of trees temporarily. Let's test it for just one single tree, I guess. Put 0 on it. Like a really small number. We'll try that out. Oh, it still spawned a lot of them, even with the small value like that. Did that even work? Hold on. Let's put it at 1. That's a very small number, and it's still on all those trees. Okay, there we go. I don't think it spawned anything though. Not even one lonely tree because it's too small now. Alright, if I keep going this way, does it spawn any? I just need one tree. Come on, come on, come on. Give me one tree. Alright. Let's increase that number then. Let's do 2-5. Because it was between... It was between that and 0.005. So let's meet halfway. Let's meet halfway. Do I get any trees? Wow. Not one tree in sight. Alright, let's do 4. Let's do 4. No, that did not work. So it's weird that 0.5. I think the problem was because I don't think I said it correctly, I think. What problem do you see, Quacky? On the trees. What do you mean by tree generation? I got a tree over there. I see a tree. Let's see. Yeah, I didn't do it to this one either. So it has to do with a shader problem. There's a shader problem going on. Yeah, let's revert this back. It works if I am at 0, 0. Let's look at my. I'm gonna look at my previous changes. Go. Actually, I can go. Can I? Do I still have it open? Oh, yeah, it was here before. I think I committed that, so I'm gonna check my history. go back even further. I want to see how I was setting it when the trees were initially in the tile map. So I'm going back in my GitHub right now. Let's see. Dun, dun. Can I check the previous difference? Dun, dun, dun. Oh, there it is. So yeah, I was using the global position. I just passed it into the shader. And if I remember correctly, if I looked in here, I'm using the global position as well when I'm passing it to this. This is vector 2. Double check the parameters are good. Yes, the vector 2 as well. As long as I use the correct one. It's fine when it first starts initializing it here, but once it starts moving, this position is wrong. Even though I am setting it correctly and setting it as the player's global position. That is very strange. I want to comment it off and we can try it out like that. And it should always be at 0, 0. Let's close this file. I don't need this right now. Not sure. I just set it how I was setting it before. It works when I first get in the level because the position is 0, 0. I have not set the player's position yet until I start moving. And the moment I start moving, this is the little transparent stuff that you see here, like a little haze, starts not working anymore. The moment that I move it just a tiny bit, it ends up not working. Or you know, hold on, let's go back out a little bit. I guess it's still there. What if we increase the radius on these? Let's increase the radius on it. Let's make it a lot bigger. Now let's go crazy, put 2 on it. Because I noticed that it got small. That radius. So the moment that I started moving. So let's try out putting it at 2. Okay, so it's a lot bigger now. I think the next thing that I would do, maybe the opacity. I need to increase it. Oh, it's actually gone now. That's crazy. Like, I don't see the little haze on it anymore. And it's not there anymore. Something is happening there when I'm moving it. I'm gonna have to debug that even further. Let's see, we'll pause. And then we do a mass factor on it, which is 1. It should do this one here. I'm gonna do our GBA 4 there. I'll do that. Yeah, that did not work. What's I thought? Yeah, I guess it will have to be just that. I don't want to touch. I want to touch that. And search overlap transparency in tween. And then let's look it up. Hopefully it still works in the version of Godot I'm using. It should still work actually. Hold on, if I play this, we'll remove my music. Hold on. Let's go to... Go in this
Grammarly is an AI writer.
Let's see how they do it in here. No, thank you. So what did they do in here in order to make that work? They create a collision to detect. So it's just detecting if it's the collider hits the player, and then they will do the shadering here, right? Oh, they just do collision check and then just I don't like that they do the entire tree though. Like the entire tree opacity is just turned off. I'm just scared to add another collision to the trees. It already has 2. But then I could check to see if it's a player. Hold on. Yeah. Yeah, this will work too. I just don't like that they do it. It's done to the entire tree. And then I'm just doing some math. Some math is going on in my end that's not correct. But this can work too. And it was working before until I moved it over to how I'm doing the trees now. So something different happened since then that ended up not working anymore. Assuming you're doing my world position of the tree correctly calculations. So model view matrix times the vertex, X and Y. And that should give me the world position of the tree. And then you can try doing let's go to the utils real quick. I'm doing a distance check. Now let's just try returning the dist and see how that works. Yeah, it's so simple. Yeah, because they're doing it in an entire tree. They're making an entire tree transparent. I don't think this is going to do anything, but I'm just doing the distance check. And once the player gets close to the tree, it will make it transparent at least. Whoa, look at that. Not exactly my... Hey, I can at least see my player in the back. Oh, jeez. Alright, so going back to my shader here, I should most likely be clamping this from 0 to 1 so it doesn't go beyond, or like this is doing right here. Perfecto. This clamping it so it doesn't go beyond a certain amount. Alright, let's try that. Gotta clamp that from 0 to 1. Okay. So unless I'm like right on it, it's not gonna really do much. It needs to detect a certain radius, which is what I was doing in here. So we can. I don't really like doing if statements in shader code, but let's just do it for right now. So we can check to see if the distance is less than the radius. We can just return. No, let's just return 0 and see what happens there. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Oh, let's just return 1. So let's start debugging this a little bit more. So with the distance check between the world position of the tree and the player is less than the radius that I put in here, which is, I know it's 2 right now. Then return the alpha to be 0. I think I should probably create a like scene so that I can do that, so I don't have to keep playing this all the time and make my life a lot easier. There we go. So you can see a little circle on the bottom there. So now I just need to expand that further. You can see that little tiny circle happening right there. See that? Now I just need to expand that. Okay. You can see that following everywhere through all the trees now. Okay. If I go back to my tree and it's doing this. One. I had this negative -16 to offset that circle. And then I just need to increase that radius to be a lot bigger. Okay. Wait, do I even... So let's say I'm radius of, let's say 32. I'll float an inch. Let's say 32 radius, right? Let's try that out. And load into the game. Let's get in here. Whoa, yeah, that's a big radius. Okay, that's a big radius. But hold on, can I actually edit this while I'm in here? I know there's some places I'm able to do that. I guess you can't do it in here. Did it get smaller, or is it just me? No, it didn't. I'm gonna have to just redo it again. Okay. Yeah, that's it completely wipes the tree out. Alright. So let's do half of that. Let's put 16 then. Oh, what time is it? Okay. We got a few more minutes. There you go. Okay. This is not too bad. now I want so that it fades in like I did before. And that is the problem where I gotta figure out how to do that. Let's see. So I got a distance, and if it's less than this, then what I would like to do is return, just to make sure his clamp, dist minus radius. So if I'm on the edge at 16, that means it's gonna be 0, but I want to flip that, don't I? Do a 1 minus that, and then just make sure this is at, doesn't hurt, just leave it like that. Okay, now that did not work. Or is it division, not minus? Hold on, let me see. Am I doing something wrong here? Yeah, I think it's division, by the way, not minus. I need to divide this by radius. Let's put a parentheses here. So the closer I get, the smaller the value will get. Or maybe I don't need to do a -1 on it. Hold on. So if I'm an edge, it will be a 1. Yeah, I don't think I need to. And as it gets closer into the player center of the circle, it should be smaller on opacity. Oh wow, what happened to there? No. I'm using 16. I'm not using that value anymore. Come on. Eventually I will use the radius. I just gotta, I'm just testing this right now. And let's load back into the game. Okay. There we go. There we go. I gotta fix that Y sorting though, but it looks like the shaders are working. You can see the circle in the center being so much, so we need to spread that out a little bit. Maybe clamp it a lot higher value. So let's go in there. Instead of being here, I think before I had it at 0.05 being the lowest. No, that doesn't work out. What I want to do then, I gotta fix that opacity to be a lot better than what I had. and make it like spread out a little bit more. Trying to figure out the math for that. Like the outer circle can be opacity a little bit, but as it gets closer to the center, I want it to be less opacity on it. Because I had it at 0 and it kind of works, but I want to spread the center to be a little bit bigger. Hold on, let me see. Let's just revert back a little bit and I see what I had before. I was masking it to this. And maybe what I gotta do instead. But that doesn't change much though. I just made it smaller. Actually, you know what? No. Let's make sure I multiply first. No, I don't think it matters though, but I don't think that should matter. Yeah, I know. I gotta make a test scene for this to make this so much easier. Yeah, it's a very small. I can see the eyes there. Yeah, I gotta figure out that math when it comes to what I want to do for that. So at least I know that position is being passed correctly. It's just the math that's happening here is not correct. I had it working in the tile when it was a tree wasn't a tile map. Just in this version, it doesn't work that great. I have a distance. I should track the offset it just by a bit. Let's do 8 for right now. This will be my last one that I'm doing, and otherwise I will need to figure out a math for this. I can't think of it right now without any brain food. So let's increase my shader here, radius. So it's not 2, but it's 16. So that way it passes it in here correctly. So I'll do this for the small tree and the big tree. Yeah, I don't see any difference on this one. No difference. Yeah, passing the mass radius. What if I make it to 0 instead? Well, I gotta restart that bad boy though. Restart this bad boy. Yeah, so no difference on that. Why don't we, let's see, let's go to the remote. Go to this white sort over here. Problem is I need to find this tree that's next to me. And that is not ideal because there's so many trees in here. I ain't never gonna find it. I have to get lucky somehow. I can find to see what tree got. Yeah, I'm not gonna find it. I didn't want to restart it again. Yeah, I just gotta figure out this math here. That's the issue that I'm having here. Because I really like to get the version that I had working. I need to clamp it twice though. Wonder if this is not working anymore. Let's see. Very strange. Yeah, I gotta make a scene. But I'll probably have to do that next time though. Sorry it was a little slow today. I did fix the trees performance a lot more than I had before. But at least that's a plus that we did on this stream here today. We fixed the performance on the trees a lot more. The next thing that I'll need to do on the trees is be able to bring back the actions for the trees when I'm cutting down trees and chopping the trees, basically, because those don't work anymore. So I gotta get the chopping trees back and be able to transition the tree to a tree trunk after, and updating the saving data for it, since those don't work anymore since I changed the trees now. So that will be the plan for next stream. That'll be the plan for the next stream, to be able to bring back the trees back to what it was before, be able to chop them up, get some resources and all of that once again, and we can keep going from there for the next stream. I'll continue working on this off screen, trying to figure out what's going on with the shader. And Quacky, yes, I will make a scene for you. I will make a scene for that, make it a lot easier. So yeah, I agree with that. Because I was getting tired of restarting every time. But cool. Well, anyways, guys, thank you guys for joining on the stream. I appreciate you guys for being here. I gotta get back to work. It is that time for me to start working on my job. So otherwise, I'll still be here. But cool. Have a great day, guys, and I'll talk to you guys later. Signing out.